The author A.W. Tozer once famously said, "Whatever comes into your mind when you think about God is the most important thing about you." Think about that. Because behind every identity issue we face, every struggle with purpose, confidence, calling, lies a fundamental misunderstanding of who God really is. As leaders, we spend a lot of our time helping others unlearn the wrong things they've learned about God and then learn what's actually true. But the truth is, it's not just for those that we lead, it's for us too. Because we can carry around distorted views of God that shape the stories we live under. Stories that shrink our vision, limit our faith, and stifle our leadership. And when we look around at the world with all of its chaos, uncertainty, and pain, it can feel hard to believe that there's a bigger story at work, but there is. This year, I was asked by Spring Harvest to write the theme book, No Greater Story. It's an invitation to lift our eyes and see God as He really is. Greater than the giants that threaten us, greater than the challenges ahead, greater than anything we fear or face. To tell that story, I chose to frame it through the eyes of the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah gives us this beautiful, sweeping view of God as creator, speaking through mountains, rivers, and stars, as redeemer, stepping into the middle of our mess and doing something beautiful with it, and as perfecter, the one who restores all things and makes all things new. It's the greater story, and we've built resources around it to help you and your church step into that story. But here's the real question for us as leaders. How does God's greater story impact your story? For Isaiah, the collision of his story and God's story happened in Isaiah chapter 6. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord, Isaiah says. That year marked a moment of grief, of loss, of confusion. His king, his mentor, was gone. And yet he saw the Lord, high, exalted, greater than anything else. Took his breath away. We need those moments as leaders, don't we? Because so much of leadership is heads down, caught in the urgent, the immediate, the overwhelming. But Isaiah looks up. He sees God, and in that moment, he then sees himself truly for the first time, and it undoes him. Woe is me, he cries, I'm ruined. He sees his sin, his insufficiency, his smallness. But God doesn't leave him there. God touches him. He cleanses him. He speaks to him. And that's what we need. Not just another strategy or resource, but a deeper encounter. We need to see God, and we need to hear God. And then comes the invitation. Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And Isaiah replies, here am I, send me. That response changes everything. It's not when I know enough, I'll go. It's not when I've got it all together, I'll go. It's not when I feel worthy, I'll go. No, it's just, here am I. I'm in. I'm ready to join you, God, in this adventure of redemption, of helping people find and follow Jesus, of seeing heaven touch earth. And that's the posture that unlocks it all. And that posture matters, especially now. Because let's be honest, something is stirring in our nation. More people coming to church than in many years. More people exploring faith. More Bibles being bought and read than for decades. More young people asking questions. Aslan is on the move, if you know the C.S. Lewis stories. And as leaders, our posture matters. There's a beautiful tradition in Jewish worship called the Kedusha. It's a prayer based on the holy, holy, holy of Isaiah 6. And when it's recited, the priests stand on tiptoe as if they're mimicking the angels, reaching upward towards heaven. And I love that image of tiptoe leadership, eager, expectant, ready to move when God moves. Like a footballer on the balls of their feet, anticipating where the ball's going to come and where the next play is. They're ready. I'll never forget a moment just after the pandemic. I was out on my bike praying, venting actually to God. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to carry the weight of what was coming next. I remember saying out to God as I was riding my bike, Lord, I just don't feel capable. And in that moment, as clearly as anything, I felt God whisper, Leon, you're not capable, but you're called. And that changed everything. I'm not capable, but I'm called. Because in the Bible, to be called means there's a caller. In scripture, to be called isn't just someone shouting your name, it's being named and made. God calls Gideon a mighty warrior, even when he's hiding in fear. But when he calls him that, he equips him to be that. You see, he sees us from completion. And that's powerful. You may not feel capable, and you're not capable, but you're called. And your story, whatever shape it's taken, can find meaning, hope, and power when it becomes part of God's greater story. So lift up your eyes, stand on tiptoes, put your hand up and say, "Here am I, send me." I want to encourage you to grab your copy of the No Greater Story Leadership Toolkit. It's full of books like this for your church, and downloadable sermon outlines and small group notes and creative media and loads of other things. And then together, invite your church into a journey of rediscovery, to rediscover this greater story, the story of God. When we get on tiptoes, when we get ready, when we posture ourselves before God, as God is moving by His Spirit, imagine what God could do not only in your church, but in your community. And maybe He could use you, someone not capable, but called.